Welcome to Unlock Your Soul Memory. My name is Iris and I'm a provider of hypnotherapy session. Today, I'd like to share with you the continuation from the last video in regards to dynamics of suicide, focusing on what it could mean on a soul level. Within my own healing journey, I visited maybe around 100 or more past lifetimes. I was really eager to get rid of all the shadows. And I'd like to share, when you are having past life regressions, very often you don't have access to the knowledge-based information. So sometimes you don't even remember the name, you don't remember the country, you don't remember the year you're living, because as a soul, maybe it wasn't that important to you in that lifetime. Or it's not the emotional thing that got stuck. Very often you are remembering emotional-based information. So it's very often a continuation of a certain dynamic, a continuation of a certain emotional state that's equal from one lifetime or similar from one lifetime to another. And as a soul, you don't have a gender. You can either be born as a boy or a girl. And it really depends on what kind of experiences you choose to have as a soul. The lifetime I'd like to share first is the one I experienced as a boy in France. And it's very funny to me because I had to learn French and I had such an aversion. I really don't feel any joy in learning French. And it's most likely because we as souls, we do remember how a certain place made us feel, how a certain country made us feel, and what kind of certain experience we had as a soul there. So if you have a certain affinity towards a country, maybe you had some beautiful experiences in past lifetimes. If you had some not so good, if you have some not so good feelings towards a country, maybe there are some things lying in the dark, some things hidden, lying dormant that need to be unraveled, some shadows there. Okay, so as the boy in France, living on the countryside, my parents were very abusive, and mainly my father. He was an alcoholic, and when he returned home, he was beating me up miserably, beating me up heavily. And I ended up being crippled. I was so crippled that just the sight of me made others reject me. I was not able to build a life there. I was not able to learn a proper job. I moved to the city, most likely it was Paris, and working just as a support for the butcher there. I barely made enough money to pay my rent. So the landlady was constantly nagging me. And I was even having just a small room in the attic. So I experienced all this rejection from everyone around, which made me feel so miserable inside, and I just wanted to give up. I decided to commit suicide. And maybe I was not even able to pay the rent any longer. So the landlady came in shortly before, and I killed her first, and then I killed myself. Next lifetime, I saw myself as a Jewish girl. The very first scene I saw, I was standing in front of the house where we lived. But I knew my parents were gone. They had been transported elsewhere. It was the Third Reich. I saw a lady looking down from a window, observing me, but doing nothing. And I was feeling so outraged inside. Like, we were neighbors, she knew us, but she was doing nothing. She was just looking. And I ran away then. And I found a place where they were hiding me. It was down in the cellar of a pub somewhere. And they were also hiding others. But somehow the SS got notice. They found us. And they forced us out. We had to go to the train, which brought us to the concentration camp. And within the concentration camp, we had heavy labor to do and barely got anything to eat. We had to carry around those that were dying because of starvation or that got shot because they didn't follow orders. And at the end, I was so exhausted and I was just skin and bones. And they put me in the gas chamber. That was the end of that lifetime. It was extremely traumatizing. And I even still in this lifetime had massive anxiety coming from that lifetime, that past previous lifetime. So I was extremely scared of dark places because I was within that basement in the cellar down there. And we were in such a fight or flight mode. And then all of a sudden we got found, and it was like this shocking moment. So what is the dynamic that you can sense between those two lifetimes? What is similar? Because if you look at the lifetimes, you think, okay, why on earth would anyone as a soul be willing to experience that? And how I made sense of it is because you have a certain continuation of the emotional states in the lifetimes. So you really have to work on these emotional states to dissolve them if you don't want to have to experience them in the next lifetime again. What I saw for myself, how I made sense of it, is I did not validate my own lifetime in this past lifetime as this boy, French boy. I experienced the extreme rejection and I allowed it to impact me. I allowed it to define me and I allowed it to make me miserable inside. And in the next lifetime, as the Jewish girl, it went to an extreme. And I feel it's most likely because at the climax of that past lifetime as a boy, I did not solve anything. And so I had to face something very similar in the next lifetime. I'm not sure whether it makes sense to you, but that's what I see for myself. That we have to learn to overcome the pain inside. We have to resolve all this pain inside. And we cannot allow all the rejection from the outside to define us. We are meant to embrace ourselves. We are meant to feel happy inside, or we are meant to love ourselves no matter what, no matter what else is happening around. We are on the journey to find peace within. We are on the journey to not let the outside define us. And we are on the journey to overcome the pain. And if you struggle from suicidal thoughts, I'm not lecturing you, or I'm not going to tell you what you should do, what you have to do. I really am sorry. I really feel for you, because that's a very sad place to be in. But I do encourage you to overcome this pain, to move forwards. Don't let it define you. And you're going to find the strength to overcome that. It's right within you. And what I have experienced, sometimes it's not the closest ones that are going to help you. But there's so many out there that are looking forward to support you, that want you to thrive, that want to see how you're doing well, that want to see you shining your light. This is what the earth and what the world needs. We need your light. We need you. And we need you being alive. Because there's enough darkness out there, enough darkness pulling us down. We should not allow that to happen any longer. And we need to find the light within ourselves first, and then be an inspiration to others out there. Just letting you know that you are loved. I know that sounds very, very superficial, but you are. We are so often sometimes blind for the positive, for the good. We sometimes only listen to the nasty, nagging voices. And I was there as well. I allowed all the rejection from the outside to cause this turmoil within me, while not noticing the kindness, which was also approaching me, but it was a lot quieter. It was a lot gentler. And it's there. So not sure whether it was an interesting video for you. Share in the comments down below. Looking forward to hearing from you, and looking forward to seeing you next time. Take good care, and goodbye for now.